So I've had a little break in the weather. It's about 14 degrees here today. I thought I'd take the lid off, and where it's all gone green and manky with algae underneath where the air stones have been, I've jet washed and cleaned all these down. I've got the worst, had big patches of green algae around here, so I'll give them a clean off with the jet washer and I'll put them back on again tonight. Let's do a little bit of tidying up. Fish all seem happy. They're at about 17 degrees at the moment still. I haven't dropped my temperatures down as much as I did last year because the air source heat pump that I'm using now cut the electric cost down to about £15 a month. Although we've had quite a mild winter, that's all it's cost me so far to keep the pond heated up to 17-18 degrees. So that's worked out really well, and it only runs for, I don't know, just a couple, 2-3 hours a day, tops the temperature back up again. That's with the covers on. As it's so mild today, I've took them off for a while. Fish all seem happy enough. Just giving them a light feed so the temperature's still up. I don't want them losing weight, so they get about 100 grams a day in 2 feeds, and that's all they're getting now, just so they don't get too chubby and fat. And in the filter house, it's just ticking along nicely. Cleaned the drum screen about a week ago, just using a mixture of citric acid. RO's still running along nicely. 100 psi. What's it running at now? 500 and something going out the waste, and about 10 ppm in the pond, and that's running at 250 mil a minute in, sorry, 2.4 litres a minute in, and 670 mil, 67 mil to waste. 670 mil, I keep adding the zero on that pop now. 670 mil to waste and 2,400 mil in the pond as the RO. And that's still running quite nicely. It's running okay. That's been really well. Now that I've got that isolated with some insulation there, this is really quite quiet. Made that pump a lot quieter. I cleaned out the pre-filters the other week. I'd run them for about 3 months. They were quite dirty, but after a jet wash and then soaked in a bleach solution, then rinsed, they've come up a lot brand new. Still haven't had a chance to put the new bio filter in. Gonna leave it till it warms up a bit, because I've got to literally rip all that pipe work out, take that out, take the shower out. I have to set up some temporary filtration while I'm doing all that work, and then manhandle that big bio tank in here. I'll probably leave that till March or April before I get stuck in with that. Other than that, it's all running quite nicely. pH about 7.3, KH is about 2. It's all ticking along nicely. Wait till spring comes around and I'll make some changes and put that new bio tank in. That's just languishing in here at the moment, waiting to be fitted. It just got too cold and there's just too much work to do in that weather, so I'll leave that till spring. Other than that, nothing to report. I'm going to have to change the carbon over in these soon. These have been doing really well, having added this jumbo 10-inch pod to this, made a world of difference. These have been running since this one was 7th of 23, 7th of the 1st of 23, so these were January and that one was November of 22. I'm getting a reading of about I think it's about 8 parts or 10 parts per billion on the chlorine through this now, but that's still within safe levels, and that's been running for over a year now. So I'll see how I go with that when the weather warms up. I'll swap all the carbon out in these. I've already got the carbon, then change the carbon block filters over in there, the Chlor Plus 1 micron in there and the 5 micron standard block, and then change all the pre-filters over. But I'll leave that. It's okay at the moment, still running below the 20 parts per billion maximum chlorine level, so that's working just fine. And that RO just runs for the reverse recycle RO runs for a couple of hours a day. It runs an hour and then 12 hours later another hour, and that's enough for the winter time just to keep the pond where I want it to be. The TDS in the pond's around about 120 and the pH is 7.3, KH is 2. That's it. Everything's just ticking all nicely for the winter, and then I'll start making some changes in the spring. So fish all seem happy enough. It's nice to see them still moving around with the temperature up about 16, 17, 18 degrees rather than dropping that temperature right down and they're huddled up on the bottom. They seem happy enough, so we'll see how we go this year with it. Hasn't been too expensive for the heating. That's the air bar come back on again. That turns off periodically just to let any of the surface water run back to the skimmer and take away any bits that get pushed too much down that bottom end. And then it'll soon be springtime, give everything a clean and tidy up and get ready for the summer season again. That's it, it's a little update. And a bit of melon football, gives them something to chase around the pond for a bit. It's half feeding, half entertainment. That's a piece of snowball melon, just what they had in the supermarket at the times. It's a little bit firmer flesh, so they don't rip it to pieces in seconds. It takes them a little bit longer to eat it. It's tied up to a string to stop it sailing down the skimmer and getting stuck in there. Otherwise they just chase it around the pond and it ends up in the skimmer.